Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Opportunities Connected. I'm Yemi Griot.
And I'm Justin Latson.
And welcome to the show. Yeah, man. Justin, always a pleasure to see you. Welcome. And it's good to be connecting with you once again. Every week, we are joining you here as you view or listen to Opportunities Connected. And today we got an awesome topic, an awesome subject I love covering. And that is talking about what are the things we want to get over and understanding the value of conflict and getting over our fears. Justin, how you doing, man? Very good to see you.
I'm doing amazing. Another great day. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. The weather is in our favor right now. I'll take it. Even if it was raining, it wouldn't stop me. In fact, that'll help me with the lawn. You know, I'm blessed to have that lawn, so I'm grateful for that. All that to say, let's talk about, one of the things that you mentioned before, and I love hearing your input on, is learning about the things that can kind of stand in our way when we're trying to move forward and be more successful. And I know in our last episode, we talked about understanding that feeling of success. How do we know what that feeling was like? And how do we continue to try to push for our next goals? And so in this one is, we put understanding the value of conflict, and we're not, and I know we've mentioned this before, we're not talking about, Cobra Kai jumping in the bars, throwing people over bar stools. We're talking about understanding the importance of confronting the things that could be a roadblock to you, standing in the way of you and success.
100%. 100%. So we all have that, like our mind yelling at us saying, hold up, the fire is hot.
That's right.
It's like, but a lot of times it's not just saying don't touch the fire. It also tells us maybe you should not achieve your goals. Maybe you should not achieve your dreams.
Right.
So everybody has their own different fears in the world. And I read this amazing book by Napoleon Hill that really identified 7 different fears. And once I realized, wait, that fear is me.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to push forward like masterfully. I don't even know if that's a word, but powerfully forward, not allowing my own personal wall get in my way.
Right.
So, if you don't mind, I'd like to list out the 7 different fears. And for those of you who love reading books by Napoleon Hill, which I'm one of those, it's a great book called Keys to Success. Check it out. Today, we're going to put our own spin to it, like my thoughts and your thoughts. Right. Our fears, right?
That's right. Let's go through it, because I want to learn more. And of course, we'll put a link in the description to how you can access some of the things that we mentioned here on the show. And don't forget to reach out to us, share with some of us during this conversation. You can comment, but share with us, what some of your fears are, some of the things you believe are standing in your way, and let's talk about getting past it. Go for it, Justin.
Yeah, 100%. So Napoleon Hill named 7 different types of fears. One of them is poverty, fear of losing like your money, going broke. Okay. Another fear is criticism. What will people say about you? I know a bunch of you guys, especially the internet day, the age of the internet, don't step outside of their comfort zone because they fear what people may say. So the fear of criticism is a huge one. Some people use their health. Maybe I'm not strong enough to do something. So your fear of your health is another one. Some people fear losing love. Okay. What if everybody doesn't love me? And actually, I'm guilty of this, right? I always want to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Being a strong leader means you have to point out the challenges that your people are going through and that maybe you're going through.
Right.
You got to arm wrestle with what if they hate me?
Right.
Some people use their age. They forget that You have like people like Morgan Freeman, the Colonel, which
Yeah,
isn't successful till later in their life. KFC guy, right? No
right,
Colonel. Um, Loss of freedom. That's a huge one. Some people fear that they're going to be restrained. They won't have
right,
the liberty. Okay. And the seventh one is fear of death. What if I die? You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So, with that being said, there's seven different fears. There's poverty, criticism, illness, love, old age, loss of freedom, and death. Which one do you think correlates most with you? How do you feel about that?
so what's so wild? I'm glad you asked me, and also just to point out, I see an underlying theme, and to each of us we might see something different, but I see an underlying theme with all of those seven different types of fears is that loss of control. And one of the things that I've always said and try to continue to remind myself, because sometimes we like to preach something or try to act on something or say we go buy something, go by a certain motto, but you want to make sure you're actually acting on it. Is I know that I could be my biggest roadblock. Only I can allow the challenges that come before me to hold me back. And as I approach them, learning to deal with them and learning the way to get past them is the best way. And I've learned that over and over again. For me, like you said in the past, one of the things that was always a big thing for me was trying to make sure I had that affirmation from others, and wanting to please and saying yes to too many
Yes,
folks, and what that ends up doing is that it's not putting me first. That ends up putting everybody else first, and then you're not putting those individuals first if you're also saying yes to everyone else. That makes if everything is important, then nothing is important. You know
correct.
what I mean? And so you end up failing and at those different tasks because there's no prioritizing what comes first. And if I learned, and sometimes that's necessary. I learned the hard way. Um, if I don't put me first, I can't put anyone else first. And so that helped me to get past that fear. It helped me to be able to say no. No is a beautiful word. If you understand that, if you understand the value of it and the circumstances and the context it's put in, I'm not saying no to someone's freedom. I'm saying no, I can't be able to follow through on that at this time. I have these other commitments that I have, and I need to follow through on that. And it's, of course, the sentence isn't that specific, but for example, there might be instances where your friends are like, "Hey, do you want to hang out on this specific night?" In the past, because I wanted to maintain that, you know, the fun guy, the entertainer, all of that. I'd say yes, and
Mhm.
then something would come up. There'd be some conflict in schedule, and I wouldn't be able to follow through on it, and then
Correct.
it makes you look flaky. And who wants to be the flaky one?
Yeah, saying no, you get more respect than not
Exactly.
showing up.
That's
So
it. And so
that's
that's it. You should say, sorry guys, that date doesn't work for me. Maybe we can find another date that works or work out a different circumstance. And either way, no love lost.
correct. And another example of why it's important to understand your fears. So I competed at as high as the U.S. Open,
Yeah,
multiple national champion. I've competed for a very long time. The first part of my competition career, right before you step into the ring, you get
yeah,
nerves, right?
yeah,
I used to fight that. I used to fight my own fears of what if I lose? What if I get hurt? The moment I understood that it was a natural reaction, I competed so much better. My
yeah,
performance was better. I was no longer fighting myself.
yeah.
I understood, you know what? Yes, I am scared,
That's
but
it.
I'm going to win. Yes, I am scared, but I'm prepared. Yes, I'm scared, but this is nothing new.
Yeah,
So fighting your fears holds you back.
yeah,
It prevents you from taking that step, stepping onto that ring. But once you acknowledge where's my weakness and that this is a natural reaction,
yeah.
you're okay. You perform
You're
better.
able. Yep. In fact, I had the great opportunity to speak with some executive leaders and broadcast and the music industry and in the federal government across different platforms. And each of the ones that have been most successful have all said to me, as soon as you get past the fear of losing or the fear of failure, you'll be so successful
Yes.
because it's like you don't want to let that stand in your way. A lot of indecision comes from a person being afraid to fail and that not realizing that indecision is failure. And I had the great opportunity to take my son to compete in a chess tournament, and he's young, he's still learning the game and stuff like that. And in his first round he lost and he was devastated. I mean, if you would have thought the world came to a crumble, but it was good. It turned out to be very helpful to him because the remaining 3 rounds, he was on fire because he was no longer afraid to lose. He had gotten that out of his system. And
Yeah.
then since then, we've done several chess tournaments and he's lost rounds. And I'm like, how'd you do? He's like, I lost. But he didn't, it wasn't so worked up. He was no longer afraid of losing. He understands that that's going to come with the
He's a
territory.
more powerful person in that aspect.
Yeah.
Two individuals, if you have to go against them, right? The
Yeah.
person who's afraid to lose versus the person who's okay to lose and they're giving it all they got. I'm afraid of that second person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first person, they're afraid to lose. I know they're gonna hold themselves back. I will win every single time.
That's right.
The
That's
person that's not afraid to make mistakes understands that they're gonna learn from their mistakes. This is gonna be a tough match.
yeah, exactly.
Whether it's business, finance, no matter what it is.
No matter what it is. So what are the things that motivate us to live outside that comfort zone, knowing that these fears exist? So I
Yes.
think we touched on some of it here in terms of understanding that failure is a part of getting to success. But Justin, I'm sure you have some awesome guidance to provide here.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the best things I've ever learned is if I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
if I don't have any discomfort as far as I'm not fearing anything, I'm not worried about anything, I am not pushing myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm not living to my true potential. Now I'm not talking about the person that's retired that is all right, I worked hard, I got to where I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those who are still in their grind, that still have things they want to accomplish.
Right. Right.
You're comfortable, you're not accomplishing anything. You're living too easy for yourself.
Yeah.
For those that want to live that life, go ahead. Stay like in that comfort zone.
Right.
Those that really want the next level, that want to show their true potential, you got to have some type of fear.
Yeah.
You got
Have that
to identify.
fire. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. There's speaking of sayings that I think I heard it on a Dr. Dre track. I think he had a quote from gosh, I'm sure someone will drop it in the comments,
Yeah.
but they said what you learn to do with fear is let us, instead of letting it stand in front of you, let that fear be behind you and push you to the things that you want to achieve. And so as I started to move up and into the executive manager areas in my field, one of the things that I've learned from other executive managers is they said once you're too comfortable in a position, you have to understand that you've outgrown that position.
Mhm.
And if you've outgrown that position, then you could be possibly standing in the way of others who could do really well in that position. It's time for you to look for something new to challenge you and move forward. Now, what one thing I want to clarify for everybody is like, don't let this distract you from what we're saying your goal is. Now, everyone has different goals. Your goal might be to spend more time with your family, and achieving that goal means finding a comfortable position that's a little more lax. That's very different. Then you are achieving that, and your focus should be on the all the wonderful, awesome things you're doing with your family, and not getting comfortable in that zone. Always looking for that new. And we mentioned it a couple of episodes ago, the happy, healthy family structure, where we're talking about always being spontaneous, not letting the monotony continue, that kind of thing. Now, if you're talking about your career, as soon as you get comfortable in your career, start taking some classes. I'm sure your agency or your job might provide some classes. In fact, YouTube, even though there's a lot of crazy out here on the internet, there are a lot of things that you can learn from YouTube and start applying yourself, whether you're looking at IT, whether you're looking at being a civil engineer, whether or not you're looking at even, doing HVAC work or even working in finance. There's a lot of things that you can reach out to try to change your current circumstances. If you're in
Yeah.
that place where you want to be challenged, let that fire jump back into you.
Everybody has that inner passion.
That's it.
Everybody has that, oh, I wish I could do this. Well, what we are trying to tell you is saying, I wish I could do this is your first breadcrumb
That's
to
it.
doing it. Second, lay out an organized plan. How am I going to get this done? Guess what? You're going to start to feel uncomfortable.
That's it.
Now that you're starting to feel uncomfortable, that's another breadcrumb that you're doing the right thing.
That's it.
Again, don't just quit your job. Don't just invest heavy in something you want to do. Where's your plan? Where's your time frame?
That's
Make
right.
a budget. Like all these things force you to live outside that comfort.
That's right. And like we mentioned that before, planning and preparation is what luck really is. Everyone, so don't just be go happy. Like I'm feeling we understand, we get it. The fire is good. What we're trying to say is living outside your comfort zone, moving outside your comfort zone is where success
Yep.
lives.
I think whoever can email us our definition of luck, I think we need to send them some merch. I think we got to send them something, right?
Let's do it. Let's send them some merch. That'd be good. That's right. We'll
We'll,
send you.
we'll make that happen. Email us our definition of luck.
That's it. And you see the email is right there going across your screen right now, info@talkconnected.com. And then mention it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Always stay connected with us. I mean, that's the whole point of it. And I like that you brought up, even in those in the fears that you mentioned earlier, old age or loss of liberty or death. Now, what we're saying is in terms of like everyone starts to struggle with that battle of I'm getting older, because of course across the board a lot of things display getting older is a very bad thing, but actually it is should be a great strength of pride for you if you are making it to a certain age, and you are coming with that level of wisdom and stuff. That is a very good thing. So hopefully you're able to follow through on even continuing to try to eat healthier, be healthier, so that you're getting to enjoy your older age. I know that there's some things that are inevitable. You see me sitting here with these glasses. There's clearly some form of vision that has degraded since I was the age of 20. With that said, I'm going to follow through and make sure I keep these updated so that I can enjoy my time here with Justin and with my son and with my family and be able to do the things that I like in an accessible way. Same with loss of liberty. Don't allow your fear to push you to a place where you're acting irrational. Go and read. Allow that fear to drive you to learn the facts. What is actually happening? Don't jump off and get all like worked up over something you might have seen on social media. If no one has told you, let us tell you now that everything you see on the internet isn't necessarily true. Double check it. Look for the facts. Allow that fear to not drive you to jump through the window or start driving down the street. Allow that fear to drive you to want to learn more. Go look. There are plenty of verified sources of information where you can get the facts from. Learn more. Let it encourage you to learn more about law. Let it encourage you to learn more about history so that you can get to a place where you're like, you know what? Now I understand this better. I'm not losing my liberty. These things are changing, and that just means that these things are changing. And if I want to have an impact, a positive impact on it, these are the things that I need to do. I'll tell you right now, we had a new neighborhood built next to our neighborhood. We used to have a cul-de-sac, and in the past 2 years, they built over 100 new homes through that cul-de-sac. Unfortunately, what has happened is now traffic up and down my street, the speed of the cars in a 25-mile-an-hour zone definitely, in my old man eyes, looking like they're over 50 miles an hour. But I'm not going to allow that fear of everybody driving crazy to stand in my way to do the right things. So what me and several other neighbors have done, so we've worked with our HOA, and now we're working with other neighbors of ours in our community to learn how we can work with. And here in Virginia, it's called VDOT, but I'm sure there are versions of that that help to manage traffic or traffic signs, whether it's here in the United States or in your country. We're working together to figure out ways we can improve the safety of our street. And rather than me fearing the, you know, uh, uh, the work that's involved with getting it done, I'm allowing my love for my son and the fear of someone losing control because they're looking at their phone while they're driving down the street. Everyone's got a Tesla now, not knocking Tesla no, at all, but a lot of folks are very comfortable taking their hands off the wheel, and I'm not that comfortable yet. All that to say, I'm going to do the appropriate things to work with our folks in law, to work with our neighborhood, our
Take
community.
action, my friends. Take action. Don't just sit back, yell from a screen, call the cops.
Yeah,
Take action. What can you do?
that's
And
right.
like, you don't get like people equivalent old with age, and I get it, right? But truly, if you're still taking action, if you're still learning, are you really old?
I love that you always say that.
You,
That's I
yeah,
remember you saying that when you were giving a speech at your school. That is perfect. I'll let you reiterate it.
yeah. So, long story short, the moment you stop learning, your body is just going to just do its time, right?
Right.
But if you are staying active, if you're trying to take on a new skill, if you're learning, whatever drives you, as long as you're taking action on that, are you truly old?
Right.
Okay? And what is old, right?
Right.
So if you're still alive, you're still breathing, there's something you can do.
That's
That's
it.
what I encourage everybody to do. Don't let age be a factor in preventing you from taking action on the things you want. The time is now. Let's not wait. Let's not overanalyze. Once you have your game plan, take action now.
That's
Let's get
it.
uncomfortable.
That's it.
100%.
Especially, it will help you once you have that game plan together. It will help you to rally others who might be, encountering that fear that you've gotten over. You can lead by example, and
Be
and
the
and
leader.
show
Yeah.
them, say, hey, look, you know what? You don't have to worry about that. We have a group of folks who are already putting together a letter. We just need your signature. Or we have a group of folks that are already getting together. Don't feel discouraged. We do yoga at the park on these days. Don't let time or fear of the way you look stand in your way. If you want to do it virtually, there are plenty of
YouTube, like you said earlier. Yes.
virtual ways you can do it. Maybe you're not a fan of, everyone seeing you jog in place. I totally get it. So there are lots of different ways you can, whether or not it's you living a healthier life, or you learning, or you doing something for your loved ones. There are lots of means for you to do it. Don't allow your fear of change or your fear of criticism, your fear of ill health to stand in your way of achieving those things. We're telling you right now, go for it.
Yeah.
And if you ever have any questions, there, allow that fear or allow that passion, and sometimes folks, can confuse the feelings. Allow that passion, that fire under you to drive you to speak with the appropriate person. If that person doesn't have the answer, more than likely they will know who does have the answer, and you can get that reference and just follow through on it. And I guarantee you, I'm confident that within a week or two, or once you get to that next level, you'll feel much better about the things that you've achieved, as opposed to sitting there and not doing anything.
100%. And that is when you become old.
Yeah,
You sit there and you're not doing anything.
that's right.
Actually, now is the time.
Now is the time. Jump out there, get what you got to get done. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it. Don't allow the roadblocks to stand in your way. Look at them as challenges that will help you to grow. Like that game of chess. Every chess game that you lose, you've learned in. You've just learned some new moves. It's not a loss, it's just an opportunity to learn. If you're afraid of failure, you can't succeed. So let's not allow failure to stand in your way of success. You got this. We've
Yeah.
mentioned it in several episodes. The time is now. Justin, I appreciate you, sir.
Yes. And so we've identified our fears. What fears do you have? Email us. Let us know
Man.
what is in your way of success. My name
Yes,
is
please
Justin
do.
Latson.
And I'm Jimmy Grio, and thanks for joining us always every week here on Opportunities Connected. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like. Do what you got to do. Make sure those notifications are on. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you soon.
Take care.